Hey guys, Jason with Texas Bushcraft out here at my buddy's land. My new knife came in the mail. This is a Svord Peasant 3-inch, and I came out here today just to test it out, just to mess around with it and show you guys how it works. Stay tuned. So here's the Peasant knife. It's a 3-inch blade, high carbon steel. I believe it's 1095. This handle is actually the plastic version. I'll explain why I got the plastic version here in a minute. But it's a friction folder, meaning that there's actually no springs or mechanisms in it to keep it locked. The only thing that keeps it locked is the friction in between these two plates here, and that's controlled with this back screw, and this one controls how loose the blade is and how easy it is to open. So I've had this knife just for a couple days now, and I'm having fun with it. This is a little bit different for me and a lot of people out there, mainly because we're used to the normal side mechanism folders that would keep in it, and this one's, I wouldn't say for everybody. It's a little bit, I guess you can say dangerous, but if you know how to handle a knife, it's not that big of a deal. But I've really enjoyed it so far, and first thing we're going to talk about is the quality of it. Now this is a $15 knife. You can see there that I've already kind of messed with the spine, beating it up against flint and whatnot. But this is a $15 knife, and it's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but the edge here, this secondary bevel here, actually isn't symmetrical. Let's see if I can get that in the light. You can see how much wider it is up at the top. But for a $15 knife, I wasn't expecting there to be, you know, a perfect bevel there anyway. I'm planning on taking it home and profiling it. There you go. You can kind of see there that the edge of that knife is not symmetrical. It leans over to my left. But like I said, it's not a big deal at all. Now the reason why I opted for the plastic handle here is because I'm planning on making my own. And what I'm going to do is make a couple micarta blanks, just trace this around it and cut it to the same size. Now there is one pin, let's see if I can get that on camera. There is one pin that is right there. There you go, you can see it right there, and all that does is keep it from going any farther back here. And when you're holding it, essentially your hand is the lock. It's not going to go anywhere. Well, it can't go anywhere this way, but this way it can, but that's what your hand's there for. So it's not going to go anywhere, as long as you're careful anyway. So I'm going to make some micarta plates here for this, and take these screws out and countersink the holes, and hopefully that pin in there is just set with this screw here. I can just unscrew this and hopefully that pin will fall out. But if not, I mean, I can just manufacture that pin and that wouldn't be too difficult. But I think it would be really nice addition for micarta scales on this thing, because this plastic, I mean, it's a cheap ABS plastic. I'm assuming it's ABS, but it doesn't feel, it feels all right in the hand, but you can see that the stuff flexes, and I'm not a big fan of that. So we're going to talk about how to open this. Now I've seen a couple other reviews, and I've seen a guy that just opens it from the top, but his is wooden, and it opens a little bit easier than this plastic one. I could unscrew this some more, but I actually like the way it feels when it's completely open. I don't have to worry about it coming out of there. But the way I normally do it is I just grab it and put my thumb on it, and there it is. So, but like I said, I just got this. I'm sure I'll mess around with it and make or have a better way to open it than that. You can actually tell that this is a little too tight. I'll mess with that in the future. But on top of that, because it's the 1095, it strikes flint decently. I haven't been able to get a great spark off of it, but it's actually kind of an awkward thing to hold when doing this. This is the way I've done it. I hold it like this, And this is just a piece of chert or a flint, whatever you want to call it around here. I'm not sure the technical name, but we don't have a lot of great resources for the flint and steel around here for some reason. But let's see if I can get a spark off this thing. It's kind of awkward being right next to the camera. Yeah, you can see a couple flying off there, but it's really awkward holding this small blade here. And this isn't the best piece to use. So there we go. There we go, that was a good one. So maybe I can find an easier way. I thought about using this end here. Oh, sorry. I thought about using this end here for it, but I think this knob here is actually impeding it from working like that. It might not actually be hardened enough right there. I'm not sure if they harden it all the same, which seems like it would be more efficient that way, or they just harden the blade. But I really like this look on here. You can see the untreated, the unsanded edge here. It says New Zealand Svord on there. And actually that's pretty symmetrical. The actual first grind, which is, it's almost a flat grind. But you can get a few sparks off this thing. I'll try a few more times. Like I said, this might be just user error. There we go. There we go. You do have to be really careful. You have to be really careful with it when hitting the steel or the flint, because this thing's, like I said, depending on how you have it, this is still pretty floppy. There's no lock. Kind of have to be careful. But what I'm doing here is I got my finger here, and I'm just holding it like that, which probably isn't the safest, but it seems to work the best. So you saw the flint there. This is just a normal light my fire flint or ferro rod, and the edge is actually now a little bit beat up. I should have done this before the flint, just to give it a more true showing here. But this thing throws sparks really well. You see that? It's kind of hard to tell. Let me get on the other side here. So it throws sparks off this ferro rod really well. And this edge didn't come 100% 90 degrees. I did use the ferro rod before earlier, and it still worked just as well. Throws a really nice spark on it. But the only thing that I had problems with was the edge characteristic and how uneven it is. But like I said, that's not really a big deal. It's 15 bucks. The wooden handle one goes for, I want to say 18 or 20, maybe even more than that. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but it's not bad, especially for a carbon steel knife. It's a, I hate to call it a novelty, but really this isn't a practical knife out in the bush. It's a good pocket knife to carry around, or maybe a secondary knife in your in one of your small like day hiking kits. But I wouldn't want to carry this, you know, as a primary, of course. There is a leather pouch that comes with this if you opt to buy it, but I haven't really seen many reviews on it, and I'm not too worried about it. I'm planning on making a Kydex one, but I haven't determined whether or not I want the Kydex to cover the bottom half, or for the knife to sit up like that and cover this as well as this as well. But I'm planning on doing that in the future as well. First thing I'm going to do is make some micarta and work on that handle. So that's just a bit of a showing, I guess, more of a show and tell than it is a review on this. Just kind of showing you guys what it's about. Now, this knife isn't for everybody, only because of its style, the friction folder aspect of it. But for 15 bucks and, you know, a couple day delivery to you, this thing's awesome. 1095 hard carbon steel. Granted, we've already talked about the sheet, or not the sheet, the handle not being great. It's ABS plastic. What do you expect? It's not going to be great, but like I said, for 15 bucks you can't beat it. And a little bit of simple modification, because this thing's only got 2 screws in it and 1 pin. I mean, the sky's the limit, essentially. You can do what you want to with this. You can make any kind of handle that you want. You could even, I was actually thinking about this, you could make a small, maybe 3/4 tang knife. If you just undid this screw here, took out the blade, you got yourself a $15 high carbon steel, already shaped blade, and you can make yourself a 3/4 tang small little field knife. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this. I will keep you guys informed whether or not when I get the micarta handles made for it. First, I actually make the micarta, which isn't hard either. But that's about it. I'm Jesse with Texas Bushcraft. I really appreciate you guys' view. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And if you got any questions or comments, leave them below. And I normally try to get back to the comments within a couple days that they're posted. And make sure to give our Facebook a like, as well as check out our forum. And all the links are in the description. But I'm Jesse with Texas Bushcraft, and I'll see you next time.